Hey there, Tiffany Thomas with wealthytiffany.com, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about how the stock market really works. And before we dive in, if you are ready for financial freedom, comment freedom below in the comments. And if you are serious about fast-tracking your financial freedom, click the link below this video in the description and I can help you do that. All right, let's talk about how the stock market really works, because I know there's a lot of fear around investing in the stock market, and people they panic when they're investing and they tend to sell off their investments and lose a lot of money. And people just really don't understand how the stock market really works. So I want to dive in and talk about that. And I just want to tell you, this video was actually inspired by a blog post that Chris Reining did on his website quite a while ago. But I just thought it was so fascinating the way he explained it. So I wanted to kind of do my own version of that. So let's talk about how the stock market really works. This is a great explanation. So Ralph Wagner is the account manager that founded the Acorn Fund, and he talks about how investing in the stock market is like a man walking his dog. And you know, when you are walking a dog, you have a certain path that you follow, and while you're doing that, the dog is kind of going to the side, he's smelling some flowers, he's smelling grass, he's jumping up on benches, he's jumping on people, he's kind of, you know, all over the place, right? But the owner still has him on the pathway to their destination. But a lot of people have their eyes on the dog instead of on the owner. And this is like in the stock market. So when you are investing, you have the stock market that is fluctuating. It's going up and down all the time. But if you have your eye on your goal of the investment that you have made, then you can kind of keep your eye off the dog, if you will, off the short-term losses and gains happening in the stock market. And you know, one way that people get really hyped up or nervous about the stock market is that we have instant access to what's happening in the stock market. And we can see that all the time. We can pull out our phones, open up our app and see, you know, if stocks have fallen, if they've risen, if there's a new company that's gone public that you can now invest in the stock market. We just are bombarded by all of these things all the time. There's news articles that are being published about different companies and about what's happening in the world, the economy. There's just that instant access that we have. And so it's really easy to get sidetracked and kind of watch that dog instead of the owner. And a recent study was done saying that the stock market has actually made a return of 9.4% on average. Which is a great return. It's a lot better than having your money in a savings account that may not be even earning 1%. And on average, the stock market actually goes up every year. And I want to just kind of draw this for you. So, you know, as you've seen, I'm sure the stock market has taken, you know, a major dip. But when you take into account the gains and losses over every year, then on average, the stock market goes up every year. So it's kind of like this. So you have the stock market that starts down here and it goes up and then it goes down a little bit, up, down a lot, up some more, and it kind of, you know, goes like this. So it's not a complete straight line. It's not just like that, right? Going straight. There's dips and there's, you know, losses and gains over time. But as you can see, it continues to rise over time. And a lot of people forget that. They think that they're going to lose all of their money. But in actuality, the studies have shown that it goes up every year, because you take into consideration the gains and losses over every year, and the gains win out. So it continues to rise, and that's how the stock market really works. And I wanted to bring this up. So it's not timing the market, but it's time in the market. So you're not trying to say, oh, okay, when are these stocks going to be so low that I can actually get in? You're saying, okay, I want to be a long-term investor and watch, my stocks go up over time. I'm not so worried about the short-term losses that are happening because I'm a long-term investor. And it gets rid of that panic mode and selling when you're selling at a loss, if you have that long-term perspective. And one way to kind of help you do this is to avoid a lot of this instant access, not watch the stocks every day, not become so obsessed with it that it makes you crazy, that it makes you fearful of investing in the stock market. So when you have that long-term mindset, it really helps you kind of not be so obsessed with the stock market, and you can see over time that the stock market will rise, so you will have a gain on your investments. And that's not to say, they're going to take a dip, because they will, but we know if we're investing for the long term, we don't have to worry about that because it will go up over time. And that's how I do my investing. I invest for the long term, and there have been some stocks that I have pulled out, maybe after, I think it was after 4 or 5 years. And I pulled those out and put that into real estate. I wanted to switch my investments over, and they happened to be up at the time, so that was great. But I wasn't planning on that, right? I wasn't thinking, okay, in exactly 5 years and 2 days, I am going to take these stocks out and put them somewhere else. So they need to be up. So I wasn't worried about it. I was thinking this is going to be a good investment and I can hold that for the long term. Or if it is up, then I can take it out and switch it to a better investment or do something else with my money if I wanted to. So I just wanted to kind of explain how the stock market works, because like I said, a lot of people get really fearful, they get really nervous about investing in the stock market. But to get rid of that, you want to have that long-term mindset and be optimistic about your investments, and not be foolish about them. You want to do your homework, but from my experience, what I've seen, being optimistic has worked for me. And I've been able to invest in the stock market successfully. And hopefully this kind of helps you, see a new way of how to look at the stock market and realize that you don't have to watch your stocks every day. You don't have to watch your investments every day, that you can put them in good investments and leave them in there for the long term. And when you are ready to sell, then take a look at them and see where they're at. Maybe you need to wait a year, or maybe they're good to go and you can pull them out. So just kind of be flexible, but be optimistic too. And if you do want help getting started in the stock market, I do have a course. It's Buy Your First Stock in 48 Hours. So I will leave the link below this video in the description, and you can check that out if you are interested. So if you found this video helpful, please like it and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information. And if you are serious about fast-tracking your financial freedom, click the link below this video in the description and I can help you do that. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would really help me out, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks!